I bought the car, he started borrowing the car and sometimes wouldn't return it for a while, which defeated the purpose of buying the car in the first place. When he did return it, he didn't refuel it. Hey, if anything happened to the car while he had it, he would call me to contact my mechanic but never offered to pay. Hello, you're welcome to Life Stories with Bussy. I know I don't have been gone for a while. I wasn't here in the whole of September, and what happened was that I wasn't really feeling fine. If you notice the last video that I did in August, I struggled through that video. I lost my voice at a point and all that, and I just decided that look, I was going to take some time off. And even when I thought, oh okay, I felt better, I had a domestic accident. I fell in the bathroom, and while I was struggling so that my head wouldn't hit the wall, I hit my mouth on the wall. So my mouth got swollen. So for like another 1 week, I had this swollen mouth and I couldn't do anything. I just said that, look, this was of September, I'm just going to take it off. So that was what really happened. And I think last week, I didn't know what happened. No, last week was quite busy for me and I didn't do anything. All those people who have been like, where have you been? What's happening? I've not seen your story up. I've not seen any story. What's happening? I'm fine. Sincerely, I'm fine. It was just that I think I just needed to rest and all that. And I'm back. Caveat, I might not be here every Sunday, and it's because I have some projects that I'm running and they take a lot of my time. I really try. I'm recording this particular video and it is 11:59 Thursday night. Yeah, so I'm trying to just record so that I can have something to post on Sunday, but it's not really like easy for me to get to the videos, record, and then begin to edit and all that. I get to do that by myself. So, but I'll try. I promise that I'll try. So without wasting your time, I'll just go straight into today's story. So story goes, the person says, "Good day, ma. My name is Hadassah and I'm 27 years old. I'm currently dating someone, but I want to be sure that it's the right person because I've heard so much about marriages failing and I don't want to experience that." I met Dominic 2 years ago at my former office and we clicked. He's a nice guy, he's quite witty, and he ticks many of my boxes, except when it comes to finances. I'm wondering if I'm overreacting or if this is a red flag. I earn more than he does, which isn't a problem. But I think that Dominic is stingy. Initially, I saw his frugality as a strength, but now I'm reconsidering and wondering if it's actually stinginess, which feels like a red flag. When we met, I was already earning nearly $1 million, while he earned half of my salary. I also had a successful side hustle, and I've invested in properties prior to meeting him. I know how to manage my resources. In our 2 years of dating, he hasn't bought me anything, not even on my birthdays. He always says he's saving, yet I notice that he buys clothes, shoes, and perfumes for himself. When I ask him, he says they are thrift items or gifts from friends. I've always been the one paying for our dates. When I ask why he doesn't contribute, he says that it's because I refuse to cook and eat at home and that he's saving for the future. I've met his family and he has a child from a previous relationship. When I first met her, she wasn't well dressed, and when I looked through her wardrobe, I didn't find anything decent. I brought this up to him and he said that it wasn't a priority for him. I eventually took the girl shopping myself. Later, when we were going out, he instructed the girl to wear one of the dresses I bought. I couldn't help but think, now that she has options, you are making choices. Why didn't you sort out her wardrobe earlier? The child attends a public school near their house. Dominic still lives in his parents' house. When I suggested private school might be better, he insisted that public schools offer better education and that private schools were unnecessarily expensive. He said he was a product of a public school and he is not doing badly. I currently share a flat with my friends as my mother lives abroad and shuttles between here and my siblings who live abroad. I'm the only one in Nigeria and I'm the second child. My flatmates have told me that if he's stingy with his own child, it is a red flag. I remember telling Dominic that I wanted to buy a car early in our relationship. He was against it at first, but since I could afford it, I explained my reasons and he grudgingly agreed. After I bought the car, he started borrowing the car and sometimes wouldn't return it for a while, which defeated the purpose of buying the car in the first place. When he did return it, he didn't refuel it. Hey, if anything happened to the car while he had it, he would call me to contact my mechanic but never offered to pay. That would be the end. He won't collect that car again. I won't even borrow him that car again. Do you know how much fuel is now? Fuel is so expensive now. So I'll buy fuel inside the car. You would use it and you can't refuel it. There's something wrong with the car and you cannot repair it. I'll call my mechanic and you cannot pay. And you are using the car. No, now. Courtesy demands that somebody borrows you something like the car. You refuel it. Even if you did not meet fuel there, you refuel the car. And if there's something that happens to the car while the car is in your care, you find a solution to it. Why would you return back a car without fuel? And then if there's something wrong with the car, you tell her to call the mechanic comes to pick it and you cannot offer to pay and you're supposed to be a fiancé or be your boyfriend or something. Please. Anyway, let's continue. They had a family function once and he asked me not to tell anyone that the car belonged to me. I later realized that he had made them believe that it was his car. He doesn't ask me for money, but he knows that I'm always willing to give whenever he needs something. I've asked him before when he plans to start investing with all the money that he's saving. And he always says the money isn't enough and that he's thinking big. However, he has nothing to show for his savings, not a piece of land, nothing. He's sweet in other ways though. I know he's not cheating and he's very open about his love for me. He shows me off to his friends and family, posts about me on social media. I'm on his WhatsApp DP. He also helps at home. He cooks for me when he comes over, though with the food stuff I buy. When I visit his family, they usually cook with pomo and smoked panla fish. His mother is quiet and doesn't talk much, and his father is late. He has a sister who lives in Abuja, but we don't communicate much. What made me start thinking differently was my birthday in July. I told him that I wanted to go out, and to test him, I even ordered birthday surprise packages for myself and told him a male friend had sent them to me to see his reaction. He said that he didn't understand why people waste money on birthdays, claiming that it was just like any other day. We eventually went out and I offered to pay. He ordered the most expensive items on the menu. When the bill came, I pretended as if I forgot my card to see how he would react. He got upset and told me to do a transfer. I told him that my banking apps were having issues. The bill came to 125,000 naira, with his orders making up about 85,000 naira. He said that I was the one that insisted on coming to a restaurant. He paid for his own food and walked out, leaving me to sort myself out. I paid my part and came out, only to find out that he had left my car keys with the security guard and gone. He didn't call me for the first 3 days after the incident, and I didn't call him either. A week later, a mutual friend said Dominic felt I tried to embarrass him at the restaurant. 2 weeks after that, he showed up at my place with ashwebi for a former colleague's father's burial and told me that he had already paid for his own ashwebi, that he didn't pay for mine, so I should send the transfer. Imagine, 6,000 naira. 6,000 naira. I was shocked. I'm not the type who is obsessed with a man's money, but I do expect some level of sacrifice. It's not even about the gift, it's the thought and the effort that matters to me. What do you think? You see this red flag? Very big, very, very mighty red flag. For me, I think this is straightforward. And it is nice that you're not blinded by love, your eyes are opened, and you're seeing all these things. And sincerely, these are major red flags. Major red flags. Because for me, it's not just about how much a person earns, it's about how they manage their resources and how they prioritize their loved ones. Dominic seems to prioritize things like shirts and perfumes over his responsibilities. Imagine the way he treats his child. His child doesn't have the basic needs. Imagine you telling your child to go to a public school when you can actually afford to send a child to a private school. The child not having good clothes to wear. So it shows a lot of things about him. It tells a lot of things about him. He refusal to even acknowledge the basic needs of his child, like education and clothing. That can reflect deeper issues when it comes to his values and priorities. It's important that couples are aligned when it comes to financial values, because if you do not have the same values, you're going to have problems. There's definitely going to be frictions, and that is going to cause conflict. It's already causing conflicts right now, and it's going to cause further conflicts. And these are things that also lead to the breakup of marriages. So it's not just that, oh, my husband cheated, or no, it's not just that. It's not just that my husband cheated or my husband fell out in love with me. No, money is a major issue, and if you cannot align on money, if the both of you are not saying the same thing, then there's really no point, because if you are already having problem with it now, you would have problem with it later. Imagine, God forbid, imagine that this job that you have, maybe something happens to this job and you have to depend on him. Imagine in the future, and you have to depend on him. Somebody that cannot take care of his child, somebody that does not think that his child deserves the best, cannot take care of you and cannot take care of your children. So it's good that you can see this now. For me, it's not just an issue of being stingy. I think that the incident that happened on your birthday is very telling. It tells a lot about the kind of person that he is. Not only did he show lack of support, but he also showed a disregard for your feelings. How can he eat, leave you, and walk away? No. It doesn't work like that. It was your birthday. It was supposed to be special. And if he has a 5,000 naira to pay for what he had and was expecting you to pay for it, and he had this 85,000 naira and he paid for himself, and then he went home and left you, and then there was the issue of the ashwebi, 6,000 naira, he couldn't pay for you. Sister, there's no point. I think that you've seen it. You guys don't align on issue when it comes to financials, and it's not gonna work, because see, finances are a major part of a partnership. Whatever kind of partnership that you have, finances are a major part of the partnership. And when you get to that point, you're going to agree on who is going to pay what, how is the rent going to be paid, which school are children going to go to. If he says that it doesn't say anything when we're in public school, are you okay with your own children going to a public school? Are you okay with your children wearing rags like his child is wearing rags right now? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with somebody using your car and not even repairing it, calling your mechanic and not paying your mechanic, cannot fuel your car, and you're the one doing all that? Are you okay with that? And you cannot see any major thing that he's using this money for. Are you comfortable with that? If you're not comfortable with it, then there's no point. And why it seems like he's affectionate about his love for you in the public and all that. It is important that you have to be careful about emotional manipulation. Very, very careful. Public display of affection can sometimes mark deeper issues in relationships. And so do not look at what he says, look at what he does. Like, you cannot be telling me something and your action is telling me something else. Your action should match your words. So if you tell me that you love me, you should love me with everything that you have. If you tell me that you love me, you are showing me to the public and showing off with me, but you cannot give me things, or you cannot even sacrifice something for me, then there's no point. And I think it's shown it. So I really do not know why we're still asking this question. He's a very stingy person, and you need to be very careful with him. This kind of person, you cannot plan long term with him. You can't plan long term with him. The only thing that he brings to the table, or the only thing that he brings into this relationship, is his public display of affection, letting the world know that he loves you and all that. But his word does not match with his actions. It doesn't. Not only that, it doesn't value you, because whatever you value, you protect. Whatever you value, you sacrifice for. How can you be dating somebody who has never given you gifts before and you keep on giving gifts to him? How can you be dating somebody who you are the one paying restaurant bills all the time? He doesn't offer to pay. And even when he comes to your house and he wants to cook, it has to be food or food stuff that you bought. He does not put his money down for anything. So what kind of agreement or what kind of partnership are you planning? I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this partnership is going to work. It definitely isn't looking like it's going to work. Ultimately, the key question to ask yourself is, do you think that you can build with this guy? As in, do you see yourself in the future with this guy? If the only thing that is given to you is his words, telling you he loves you, showing the world that he loves you, but his words are not matching his actions, do you think that you can build with him? If not, I think that you should call it quits. This is the best time for you to go your separate ways. You are not married or anything. You need somebody who would appreciate you. You need somebody who is bringing something important to this relationship, to this partnership, not somebody who is not ready to sacrifice anything. And if he cannot do it for his child, he cannot do it for you. Yeah, that's what I think. Guys, what do you think about this story? I'll be in the comment section. Until next time, when I come your way again, my name remains Bussy David. Bye.